and welcome back to another video with me, Shruti Vashist. You're watching Living Our Ascension. So how are all of you doing within these eclipse energies? I know that things have been, quite intense lately, and you might be feeling it in the world around you with the events that are unfolding with your relationships and everything. So I wanted to make this quick video. Hopefully it'll be a quick video, not like how I usually say quick and then it's like half an hour. But I wanted to make this video about, are enlightened people perfect? And what my thoughts are on that, what I feel about that. So you'll be hearing that in this video. So if you want to listen to that, then please subscribe to this channel so that you can receive more videos like this one. And before we get into the video, I have just a couple of quick announcements. And the first one, as you know, is that I have this new course that's out. It's called Manifest Soulmate Relationships. It's on my new YouTube channel. Actually, I've started a new YouTube channel on manifestation, because there was this feminine side of me that's been coming out lately. Living Our Ascension, the channel you're watching now, it has, you can say, a more masculine energy, which is all about alignment and ascension and these higher sacred principles, how we live them in our daily life. And I'm speaking a lot about sacred principles, about ascension, the dynamics of it, the technicalities of it and all of that. But I felt that there was also this more feminine side of me that wanted to express itself, speak about relationships and manifesting and, self-love. And of course I speak about those things here too, but yeah, I think you'll feel the energy. It's like a more feminine energy essence also, that I wanted to address. So that side of me was birthing from within, and that's why it led to the birth of this new channel as well. So check it out if you want to. It's called Shruti Vashist, my name. I'll link it below this video, the channel. And yeah, so on that channel I have a course called Manifest Soulmate Relationships, and it's a complete course. It's really, if you want to experience conscious relationships with people, if you want to manifest first of all your soulmate, or even experience relationships, the current relationships that you have, how you can change the dynamic and really experience the beloved, the soulmate within each relationship, how it's that harmonious, graceful relationship. That's what the course is about, and it's really, really detailed. I'm so excited about it as well. So check that out. There's a free mini course too that I've put together for you. It's called Manifest Soulmate Love, so that'll give you a sense of the kind of practices that I use, because I use a lot of practical grounding exercises, and not just like meditations and stuff. Okay, so other than that, please have a look at all of these personal services that I have on my website, livingourascension.com. Again, the link will be below this video. You can work personally with me in many different ways. Okay, so are enlightened people perfect? I'm sure you know the answer if you've been watching this channel, or you've done your own self-mastery work for a while. Enlightened people are not perfect at all, and they don't have to be. And I really want to say that in this video, because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to do things perfectly, to get everything right all the time, this concept of right and this concept of perfect. And the truth is that kind of perfection does not exist, and I want to go into what you can think of instead that will help you, that makes us feel that we are in alignment and we can act within alignment, but at the same time there's no pressure of being perfect. And also there can be this pressure from our relationships too, for example, we speak about self-mastery, or we live a certain life, a conscious lifestyle, and then people judge you sometimes, and they, the slightest mistake that you make, they'll be like, well, you're behaving this way, so therefore it can't be real, the things that you are talking about, or these, spirituality in itself is not real, or whatever it is. And that makes us doubt ourselves sometimes. And over the years, I've built good boundaries in relationships. I've learned how to say no and have those firm boundaries, which are really important. It's 50% of what love is. Half of love is about being completely open to people, but only when they meet you within love. So that's where boundaries come in. as well, as that's 50% of the equation of creating relationships that are based in divine love. But anyway, even though I've been pretty good at that, I guess something that I was missing that would still trigger me within relationships was the need to defend myself still a little bit, when I would, let's say I am implementing something new, I have this new level of empowerment that I feel within me, or there's this knowing that this is how I need to be. I'm not going to be triggered by this, and the next time that this person does this, I don't want to react a certain way. There's no need for you to explain that in words to people all the time, or if you're doing something new, or if they blame you and they're coming through with that harsh energy, that means that they're not in a receptive place. So I'm really feeling now how I'm able to do that much more than I have in the past. It's much more graceful, and all of it has to do with how this is available to us now, because we're not living in time anymore. Things have shifted since this whole lockdown, in 2020. Everything that's been happening in the collective, this shift that's gone on to the collective levels, of course it won't be people are not shifting at the same level as, let's say, you are if you've been doing self-mastery and you've been sincere about it for a few years. But it's seeped into the collective. It does so every year. It becomes more and more potent. But this was really you can say like a portal time, this year, when a massive shift happened. I've been speaking about that in my recent video, so I won't repeat it, but I'll put it up there in the cards section, so you can check out some of the videos that I made recently. Okay, but back to what I was saying, so spiritual people are not perfect, and you don't need to be perfect. Enlightened people are not perfect. You don't need to be perfect, and just because you are not perfect doesn't mean that enlightenment is not happening. Really, the thing is that if I could advise you to think of something else, instead of trying to be perfect, if you want to have a goal or an aim for balance instead. Aim to be balanced within each moment, because light workers, starseeds, whatever however you identify or whatever it is, the purpose of what we do right now at this time on the planet is we anchor light. So we are these light pillars, you see, and that means that this white light of integration, the light of unity consciousness, it moves through us, it grounds through us. So we're like a light pillar, and the light grounds, seeds through us on the planet. So it's kind of like we are often in the middle of chaos. You might find yourself, for example, it depends for different people what their spiritual purpose is, why they were born, what their life mission is and stuff. But for me, I find that I've moved a lot of countries in my life. I've spoken about this in other videos too, and wherever I land, often I can see what the reason for that was. There's often this mini crisis that happens in that country right when I arrive, or around that time. Like I remember I moved to Hong Kong, and right before my own awakening was happening, and right after I moved out, that's when the crisis there started, when the whole revolution thing was starting. I moved to Croatia, and they had just begun a financial crisis. And I noticed that the things that were happening in those countries also were running themes in my life too. It's kind of like I was balancing it out more in my life. And it might not be at the same level as the mass consciousness, of course. Usually if you are more aware, you won't be having the same level of fear, but there'll be some fear, that you're balancing in your life. Or even if it's not fear, you will be growing more within that essence. So if it's your finances, or if it's relationships, whatever it might be. But I noticed that the countries that I was in, and then after that I moved to the US, and there Trump came, and there was all of this chaos that was happening because of all of those things. I was living in California. There were fires happening, and those fires were I think the worst or something. There was these statistics where it had never been as bad as that. I think the air pollution or something. And I was having trouble breathing, and then I figured out that I need to change my diet as well. So you see, my own evolution that was happening related to health, and because our bodies become lighter the more light that we ground, and then we need to, if we're not eating right and we're not eating light in accordance with the light that we have embodied, then the body tends to show it, you know, very quickly, even more quicker than it would in other humans, because it's like you can't handle it anymore. It's not your purpose anymore. So if you're still holding on to it for some reason, then life shows it to you, you know, that you need to let it go. It kind of like brings you back into alignment, because that's what you've chosen. You've chosen to be in alignment. You've chosen to serve truth. So life makes sure that that is what happens. But anyway, so that happened, you know, and then so yeah, I've given you 3 examples of countries, and I won't give you more. But even here, like I came to Delhi last year, and you know, there's these riots that were happening for equality, and I've never seen this in my own country. The way that people took to the streets, it was really you know, just such a, I felt it in my heart, how you know, for the minorities or people who haven't been protected, and the government was making these laws, and it's still ongoing, this issue. And then of course this whole lockdown thing happened, which I believe that, you know, it's not natural. Like it's these are also things that have been started by the government. You see, the seeding of these diseases and this ammunition that they might have kept for certain times when these revolutions started to happen in all over the world, to kind of suppress it. And but anyway, so whenever I was in a place, whatever personal challenges I was facing and balancing out, I noticed how my environment, my country, that place also had that. So I landed in that place for a certain reason, and you'll be able to make these connections in your own life. You know, when we have that more awareness, when our main devotion is service, then life will show you how you are serving, what your purpose is. Many people suffer from this. They're like, what is my purpose? And they have this existential sort of crisis, you know, and it's fine. We all go through those phases. But if you really want to know what is my purpose in the now, you have to come into that complete surrender, that I'm here to serve, and show me how I can serve. And then that's when we get to see. And within that is our own development and the development of our environment, because we are serving from the light. We are light pillars. So our main mission for all of us, of course, is to balance the scales of the earth within this beautiful time, you know, where we are entering, or we have already entered, the Aquarian age, this whole new age. There's a huge shift that's happening, almost like an earthquake, the tectonic plates shifting, and you are standing in the center holding balance. So that's why enlightenment, especially in this day and age, is not, you don't have to think of it as perfection. It's about holding balance. There will always be shifts happening. That's why you are born. Think of what's happening now. You know, if you're waiting for a time when everything will be balanced in your life, you won't have to do anything, that day is not going to come where you hit that level in your enlightenment. Because people have this perception, I will hit a certain level, I'll do the work, I'll hit a certain level, everything's going to be perfect, you know, I won't have to do anything. And that is an inner state that you create. Things around you might still be happening, there might still be chaos, but what you choose to feel within is that stability, is that balance. So that is an inner choice that you can make now. You don't have to wait until you think you are a certain level or whatever. Anyway, we never get to that level unless we claim it now. So you have it now. It's all about the now. Everything is available to us in the now, including our highest version. So yeah, so getting back to, sorry, I hit the tripod. So go for simplicity, go for balance, not for perfection. What is simplicity? Simplicity is, you know, it's like there are many realities that play out on the earth. love plays out in different ways. So love is playing out as me having centered myself, balanced myself to a certain level in my ascension. Love is also playing out as the guy over there who's committing crimes, because he or she, they want love and they are trying to get it, you know, and it came to that point where they were so desperate they didn't know how else to get it. So now they're going and they're I don't know, abusing people, or they think that they can't have abundance, they're not abundant, and society also made them believe that, you know, they did not have certain privileges or whatever. And then they thought that their only option was drugs, or their only option is to go and steal from people in some way or cheat people in some way. So you see how we all just want love, we all want abundance in love. Abundance is the same thing as well, knowing that we are completely free in the body, knowing that we are loved, we are provided for, we are secure. This is all love, divine love. So all of life, no matter what is happening, it's love playing out. And when you can see that in the moment, in the form of the people around you who are, you know, let's say within more chaos than you would like, and it's affecting you in some way, or you're seeing it in the world around and what people are choosing, and you're like, why am I on this planet, what am I doing here? We all have those moments, but it's about not living there in that state. It's about feeling it and allowing your whole body to feel it, and then knowing, accepting the simplicity in that, accepting the love in that, seeing how that is also love playing out. And that is when we see only one truth, and that is what simplicity is. Simplicity means that there is this so if you think of like an umbrella, you know, like you have those umbrella models, like those pie charts and different diagrams, and you have like a umbrella thing where right at the top there's this one thing, and then there's a trickle down effect. So there's different levels. So the top level is only one thing, and then it leads to maybe 3 things, and then those 3 branch out to more things, and so so that's how many things are created. So that one thing right at the top is simplicity, is unity consciousness, where everything is one, everything is love. So when you can see reality as only that, and you see it as the same thing, you know, whether you see a person in front of you who is so in alignment, you know, they're living their truth, they're so conscious, and you see another person who, like I gave you some examples, are criminals or acting out or behaving less than grace, but you see it all as love. You can see that behind all of it, it's actually love playing out in different ways. That is what simplicity is. So when we can see that, we can experience that all the time, no matter what is happening. So and when we know ourselves as simplicity, when we see simplicity here outside, then we know it. We know that everything is simplicity, therefore I am simplicity, I am love. Therefore we experience balance, and what we create in the world is balance. So that is your true purpose. It's to hold balance. There will always be scales shifting around you. You will always feel it. You know, things are shifting again. You know, these fear dynamics that play out, and these rumors, and this fear of, like, for example, in India, China attacked us recently, or whatever happened. And there's basically these fears in the collective about, is there going to be a war? And then you're worrying about your own security. You know, should I move? What's going to happen, or whatever it is. So our job is to not get swayed by that. Our job is to hold center, is to know that if you see simplicity, you will create simplicity, you will experience simplicity, you will experience love. And when you choose that through those small choices of yours every single day, by not choosing fear, you create that energy in the collective, and that's how we are changing reality. And the thing is that this is much more powerful than you can imagine. If you're wondering, why do I have so much to heal, you know, it's just never ending. It's not that you have so much to heal. Once we have hit a certain level of awareness, we are not healing ourselves as much anymore. We are just choosing what is the highest. Every moment presents a choice, and we just choose love. And through that we shift the collective, and our energy space becomes bigger and bigger. It affects the collective. That is what is changing the world. That is how we change the world, all of us humans, but through our own actions. And you know, at the energetic realms, that's how it plays out, through shifting our own field, choosing love, creating a field of love, and it's like the collective is worried about war, and here you're like, no, there is no war. This is not our reality in the fifth dimension, and the earth has already shifted there, so there's no war. You know, even if there's things playing out, we're not going to experience those worst fears that people have in their heads. There is no war, there is only love. And when you can choose that, you create it and you make it available to the person who is in your neighborhood, who is sitting in his or her room, and they're worried about something, but they desperately actually want to feel safe. They have easier access to that safety when they are praying, when they are just thinking, when they're out in nature to take a break from it all, and they want to access peace. They have access to it because of you, because you held that light and you held balance. So think of enlightenment now as balance. It always is anyway. You know, even if you look at nature, it's not perfect, in the sense of if I pick up a leaf and I look at it, it's not going to be 100% symmetric on both sides. Every line, everything is just harmonious completely, and it is perfect for that. We love it. We don't look at a tree and go, this tree is ugly. You know, like we look at humans and we say that this one is ugly, that one is not, and whatever. Like it's a beautiful tree. It's giving us oxygen. It's serving its purpose. It is perfection. And just like a flower, when it's a bud and then it changes, you know, it's not like it's more perfect when it's fully bloomed than when it was a bud, or than when it was this beautiful seed with this raw potential in it. It's perfect at every level. And so that is what we are too. So perfection, as the human mind wants to understand it, does not exist. Perfection is knowing that everything is perfect. It's like seeing the perfection in the imperfection. So yeah, so I want to leave you with those words, because again, this video is becoming long. I hope that this was helpful. Just know that you are here to hold love, you are here to hold balance. That is really, if you're doing that, that is, those are the frequencies of enlightenment, you see, landing within you. And the more that you claim it, the more it becomes an embodied experience for yourself and then for the greater whole. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What kind of videos would you like to watch from me as well? What you're experiencing during this time? Let me know all of that. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.